Hi, welcome to Far From Eden. We've got a man reacts video today. He is discussing, he's showing us a collection of females who don't seem to understand that you cannot defeat the wall. The wall comes for us all. Just recently, the Republican National Convention just ended yesterday. And man, you sure see it, don't you? You sure see women like just dressing and doing themselves up, wanting to be younger. And one thing that I think is so interesting, it's not just there, it's everywhere. And it's a different mini cultures, like the church women and the, Republican women and the Democrat women, and the 304s, they all try to look younger. There are creams, there are makeup techniques, there's clothing that women all go towards to make us look younger. I find that very interesting, since they deny that the wall exists. If that's true, why are you trying so hard to appear and look younger? You see what I mean? Like, if you weren't better when you were 22, if you weren't more attractive when you were 22, which, by the way, every woman is, because we look better when we're younger. They try to deny it. They try to say, oh no, I'm better now. I'm better now at 40. I've learned so much. I have so much wisdom. I think I'm more attractive. It's like, no, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't work so hard to undo it. Anyway, I just think that if you pay attention enough to women, they reveal themselves. They'll say that, oh, age just made them better. And yet they do everything to try to make it seem like they don't have that age. Anyway, they always tell on themselves. They always tell on themselves. All you have to do is pay attention. So I'm excited to see what man reacts. I think we've seen this young lady before, but I'm not mad at man reacts if he reuses clips, because honestly, sometimes what these women say can be used for like different angles, like being alone and not accepting, good, normal, average men, and you're alone, or you're alone because the wall has come. Those clips, multi-purpose. It's multi-purpose. It's multi-purpose. Crazy women. We'll find a use for them somehow. Don't be dirty. Okay. Oh, goodness gracious. Today is a much better day for me physically, but yeah, mentally, we'll see. Here we go.
The wall gets harder for modern women every day.
Being in your late 20s is so hard. I've seen a few people talk about this and just kind of the loneliness of your late 20s, and especially people who are kind of in this middle stage of, hey, I'm not married, don't have kids, not in a relationship, but I'm also not going out every weekend. I spend a lot of my time by myself. I live alone. I come home from work, I go to the gym, I spend my evenings alone. And on the weekend lately, I feel like I've been so exhausted that all I want to do is spend time by myself.
She's alone because she has prioritized herself and herself only. She doesn't, exist for anyone else. Nobody else. It's all for her. When you do that, when it's all for you and as a woman, and you don't, understand that life is about people, it's about family, it's about making your own family when you're in your 20s. She clearly, I would bet money on this, that she has prioritized herself and her career, right? Which means having money, doing what she wants, having as many pleasurable experiences as she can have, college. And she hasn't prioritized building relationships and maintaining relationships. And so when you wind up alone, whether it's in your late 20s or your mid 40s, it's because that's the life you crafted for yourself. But once again, we have a woman that's sitting here discussing her circumstances as if it's just like, oh, it happened. Oh, it's raining today. Lady, do you understand that all of this is a result of your decisions, your priorities, etc.? This video that she is making should go something like, I've prioritized all the wrong things. I don't think I've set my life in the right direction. I think it's time to make some serious changes and take a very hard look at myself. Oh my gosh, I know your brains are breaking right now because it's like, no woman ever says that. And that's the problem. Like, and don't you think it's, let's just break the fourth wall here. Look at her. Who has a camera behind their steering wheel? Also, I'm pretty sure there's a filter and, probably makeup. It's like, she acts like this is just off the cuff and I'm just talking. And meanwhile, she's a star of her own movie. And that's why you're alone, lady.
And I'm struggling with questions about work. Am I passionate about what I'm doing? Am I good at it? Should I be traveling right now and not working? Or should I be trying to work remotely so that I can travel? Like, there's just all these things that I think I would like to experience. And it's hard to know, well, when am I going to experience?
I can't even. So she's focused on herself so much that she's alone and has put so much into her career. Guess what, ladies? When you prioritize work and you want to advance in work, that means you have to work a lot. It also means there's not a lot of time for a lot of other things. This is something that women don't seem to understand about the workforce, that men of my generation and older, Gen X and older, they knew, like, if I'm going to be a CEO, or if I'm going to be a manager, the manager is going to put in more hours, more work, whatever, than just the regular dude who just comes in, puts his time in and clocks out. They don't understand that. They think that it's just, the more you advance, the easier it gets. They really think that. I swear to you, they think, oh, if I have my own business, I'll have my own business and then I can relax and other people do the work. Like, that's not how it works. These are women who didn't have, I guess, fathers who had their own businesses. That's why they're gone a lot, because they work a lot. If you're going to be successful with doing that, you're going to work a lot. They don't get it. And she just doesn't know when there's going to be more time for her to do all the things she wants to experience. What she doesn't understand is that's the same mentality that got you where you are right now. You are going to be alone, and she's going to be alone, but she's going to have all these memories of all these experiences. She prioritizes those things. What a waste. What an absolute waste. A waste of her time in her 20s, a waste of money. And it's going to lead to a place of unhappiness. And this is what happens, is they see something that they want. They think they want to travel. A lot of times it's people who have never really traveled, and they don't understand, like, travel's good and everything, but it's also, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not. But these women, look at her face. She looks like she's wanting to take and get.
And those things.
Many of these older men are now the only ones left on the market because they already have children and marriages. If these men are divorced, they likely already have children, and they might want a second wife. Some mid-30s women don't want to accept this. They claim that only older men are looking at them, and they find it repulsive. These same ladies spent their 20s hopping from one fling to another, and now they're confused about what happened. They didn't anticipate finding themselves in this situation, and things weren't supposed to turn out this way.
Can someone explain me here in Melbourne how to date? I'm completely lost. I have a date with a guy. I just had a date with a guy. We just drink one glass together. We had a super good conversation. The guy is very interesting. The first time, sight. Sorry, it was definitely not my type, but really charming, and I'm interested in him. And I don't know if I interest him or not. He just told me, I'm sorry, you're freezing, I will let you go back home. I'm so happy to meet you and we'll keep definitely in touch. But I really have to take that call from London because he's working for a big firm. And I don't know if I will have some news or not. You know, in France, when you're dating someone,
Many of them find it shocking that men select women rather than women selecting men.
Okay, what do you guys think the guy was like? He had to take a call. Maybe he is a business person and he really did have to take the call. Maybe he saw a red flag in her. I don't know. I don't speak man as well. I can translate the women better, but I don't know. I mean, she's probably like, oh, the date went well, this, that, and the other, but she might have talked about herself, her career, whatever. She might have come off masculine. I don't know. Notice she didn't really give us facts. And also, why don't you just ask him? Whatever happened to just, this is games. It's just games. Just ask him. If you don't know, I don't know. I don't understand why people do that, why they have these relationships. And I don't mean I just mean any sort of relationship where it's unclear. It's just playing games. It's like, ask them, but they don't really want the answer. They don't want to get an answer. They want to convince him to have it be the answer they want. As Homath would say, they want to move from the sweeper position from the sleeper position into the keeper position, or they already think they should be in the keeper position. I've thought a lot about that. I feel so much more educated now that I've started watching more of his videos. It's fascinating. It really helps me understand the male mind, because we think so differently.
It's challenging for women to accept that they aren't being pursued in the same way they once were, since the natural order of relationships has been turned in favor of males. Only a small percentage of guys who have been physically burned by women, have an understanding of the plight of women in their 30s, are now the men they choose to date, instead of the entire male side of the human race.
Okay, so I've been on Hinge on and off for about a year now, and every time I jump back on, it's the same people. And I see you see me, we're probably not compatible, and that's cool. But I feel like Hinge and dating apps should have like this end of the year party where all of us who haven't found a match can just meet up and have fun, party, chat about dates. I don't know, like something to celebrate, right? What do we think?
Little does she know it's actually a party like that. I had to search extra hard for this video. They was acting like it's the Krabby Patty formula or something, but I was able to get the video. Take a look.
It's even worse for women who have an obsession with having babies. They don't care how they can get one because they want a child so desperately. They will sleep around unprotected and claim to be taking the pill when they are not.
Yeah, when they've got their baby rabies in their mid-30s, right? When it's a 35-year-old and she's like hunting for a man to impregnate her because she is at the end. And I will tell you, we don't talk about hormones in women like at all anymore, as if it's not a thing. It is totally a thing. And I am convinced I have experienced, these hormones. I'm not trying to be TMI, but like the whole point is to share information with you guys and just be super honest. And what better research do I have than my own self and how the hormones have changed who I am and sort of how I think over my life. And it took this time to get to be almost 47 to look back and go, oh, I can see that now. I can see where there's a time in your life where your body wants to get pregnant, like it wants to. And I'm not saying that makes you randy. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying is you think differently, you behave differently, etc. And then you get older, and then in your 30s, your body starts running out of eggs because we're born with a finite amount. We don't keep producing them. So I feel like our bodies, see, I did the woman thing. I think that women have I know they have a finite amount of eggs, and I think they start getting the baby rabies. It's not just in their minds that, okay, well, let me see, I don't have that much time. I really think our bodies do it. I think our bodies are like, we need to make the children before we can't do it anymore. It's almost like hurry, 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 hurry. And I don't think that we're consciously aware of it. I really don't. And then I have another theory. Then when the perimenopause starts, that's sort of the beginning of menopause. That's when we're really not fertile anymore, but our bodies are still kind of chugging along as if we're fertile. I think that is when we get into this, I have to dress young, I have to look young, I have to do all these things to appear younger because I'm not anymore. Used to be, those women were rocking their grandbabies. You know, you should have grandchildren when you're in your 50s. If everybody's doing things the way it should be done. And I know it'll be like, oh no, that's too young. Well, our biology says differently, you know? So the biology tells us when things are supposed to happen. Society's tried to change that to break up families and get women in college and all the rest of it. And this is why women are denying the wall, because they don't embrace that period of their lives. They don't embrace like, oh, this is a different chapter of my life. Now my daughters are the mothers and the young wives. And now I am the grandmother and I have the wisdom and the softness and everybody wants to come to me. And I make the best potato salad. My grandma made the best potato salad. There will never be a potato salad ever. Like, and I know you're like, oh, potato salad. You don't understand how good that was. She crocheted, man. She could crochet. We had so many crocheted blankets, and she taught me to crochet. She taught my sister how to crochet. She was in a wheelchair, and she cooked. She had her drawbacks, of course. Nobody's perfect, but like I remember that. I never remember her trying to seem young. That's insane to me to think that my grandmother would want to seem hot in her 50s. She was grandma. We loved her for all these different reasons, and she was secure in that. That has been lost. Women hate themselves more than they accuse men of hating them, because they hate their older selves. You know, they hate that they are made to, bring forth life. They hate that. They hate that they're naturally complementary to men. Men are also complementary to women. They hate all of that. They've been propagandized to think that way, but they still choose to hold on to that throughout. And even to their own detriment, where they're alone. I mean, this one chick, we can all see what she's going to be, 10, 20 years from now. She's going to be a cat lady. There's somebody in the comments that keeps saying repeatedly, and he's right, buy stock in cat food, because, and you want to know why they buy like dogs and cats and this and that and the other, and they have those? That's their grandbabies. It's a substitute. It totally is. I know it is. I have a little dog, Lola. By the way, when I think of Lola or she distracts me, she's sleeping right now, I remember to ask you to like the video, please, and subscribe to the channel. I'm regularly demonetized and shadow banned. I wonder why. But it really helps if you guys like it. I've seen it make a huge difference in getting it out. You believe it or not, there are some men that have not heard this message. Imagine that. Imagine a man who's divorced and he's, got kids and he's thinking, I'm going to remarry. I just found a bad one. I'm going to find a good one. And I know some of you have had that. We gotta warn him. We gotta warn him. But anyway, so I have Lola, and she was a farm dog. She came as a rescue, was one of the farm dogs. But honestly, when I'm, taking care of her and talking to her, I'm like, this is totally something small and something that needs me. And I get it. Like, I'm going to be honest about it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I used to deny it. No, it isn't. I'm not doing that. And I finally got real with myself, and I was like, that's what we're doing. If women tell you otherwise, they're totally lying. So That just ratted us all out.
I met a man who had 3 children in 3 years with 3 separate women, all of whom claimed to be taking the pill. He is currently supporting 2 children and residing with the lady who gave birth to his 3rd child. I used to believe that once their
Come
friends
on,
started having
man.
babies, a lot of ladies my age would start having children as well, especially in the group of individuals I hang out with. Many of my female friends who are in partnerships and are in their mid-30s have decided against having children at all. A lot of the ladies in groups of 10 to 15 who hang out together choose not to have children.
There's a reason why I say when a man hurts, he truly does hurt. And not a lot of women are aware of the fact that they have this much of an impact on a guy when they hurt them. Like, guys are very good when it comes to hiding their emotions because, you know, guys are taught to not really show them. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that they're non-existent, okay?
Oh my gosh, she is so speaking truth. Yes, it's absolutely devastating to men. A man's broken heart is way, way worse than a woman's broken heart. Women move on super fast. We all know it. They go from one to the next, and men, sometimes they never ever get over it, ever. And a lot of times there's men, I've learned this from you guys. A lot of times there's men who are, say, older, and they're still that one from, 30 years ago, that one. And it might not be who they ended up marrying. But men truly love. And it's the type of love where they would sacrifice everything. They would sacrifice their life, everything. And then they find out the woman was not invested at all and absolutely rips them apart. I'm happy to see that there are women that are finally learning this and understanding this. Come on. We have fathers. Some of us have brothers. Some of us, we have to listen to the men and stop telling them how they feel or what they feel or how they should feel. We don't like it when you guys do that to us, do we? And you don't really. We just accuse you of it. All right. I got excited, so I interrupted her. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay, it's still there. It still hurts. And if anything, I think a guy hurts worse than us females because of how much they hold in. And it hurts even worse when a female fucks them over or breaks their heart. Listen, you want to talk about heartbreak? Watch a guy go through shit like that.
Yeah.
I kid you the fuck not. That shit, it breaks my own heart having to see a guy go through that. And it's because when a man loves you, he loves you with his entire heart, his soul, his mind, his being. And when he gets fucked over by somebody that he gave everything to, y'all don't realize how deeply that cuts him. Like,
oh my
Due
God.
to the fact that these 35-year-old ladies are still partying and clubbing as they did in their 20s, the few women who did have children are no longer accepted into this particular social circle. I find it revolting that women go to cougar clubs in an effort to meet 25-year-old males. Most of these 25-year-old males only worry about getting laid, which severely undermines the self-esteem of many women. However, they don't seem to give a damn. They want to continue the party for just a little bit longer before they reach middle age, because they need the attention of young, handsome men.
If you are single and you are in the dating marketplace at that time, when that happens, say you're 37, 36, 38, 40, whatever it may be, and you are still on the hunt for that man, and you hit the wall and you can see in your face that you are no longer the face that you were at whether it was 30 or 35 or 25, whatever it is, you are going to be panicked, because now you know that you are going to compete with women who are younger, who are largely more fertile, not always, but largely speaking, yes, who
Come on, you can say it. You can say it, Jebediah. They're way more fertile. Like, okay, there's exceptions. Yeah.
have that youthfulness to them, who have that estrogen, progesterone, whatever the hormonal balance is that makes someone young, it's there and you're losing it. And you become hyper aware of that. And that is why women begin to panic.
Many women in their early 30s have more than 20 years of proven success catching men's attention. Men have and always will desire to date women in their prime,
Huh.
even when they are as young as their early 20s or as elderly as their 50s and 60s. Many women have told me tales of how, when they were in their mid-20s, shady 50-year-old guys would hit on them, and that, when they were 25, high school boys would try to get them to go out on dates with them. In this sense, the world is our oyster, but not the world of the woman. This is due to the fact that women reach their adult potential in their 20s, and after that, their value begins to drop.
Yes.
I think I finally get what men mean when they say hitting the wall. I think I have hit the wall because I no longer see a reason for dating. It's pointless. I don't need any more friends. I don't have enough time for the friends I have that I actually like.
That's not the wall. Lady, that's not the wall. What's she talking about? My gosh.
I don't ever want to share my home with a man.
You could just look at this screenshot and tell that she's DEAD inside. And we all know how she got that way. Countless pump and dumps by guys that were out of her league. Not only by guys named Chad, but guys named Rick, guys named Scott, guys named Braden, and the list goes on and on. Just think about it like this. This is a moderately attractive woman. There's no reason on God's green earth that she should have problems dating. But when you're dating...
While for men, they start to peak after their 30s,
Wow.
and their value only increases up until their 50s. Most women can easily attract the attention of men of any age when they are in their 20s, but beyond the age of 30 to 35, when their appearance starts to deteriorate, the attention of teenagers, 20-somethings, and even men of their own age starts to fade as they start to focus on younger women instead. Many women believe that the men in their age groups don't treat them fairly. Women who are 35 years old question.
Yeah, but what women mean as fair is privilege that they think they're entitled to. They're not treating me fairly, meaning they're not falling all over me like they did when I was 25. Okay. Why don't they see it? It's so embarrassing. These women are embarrassing.
Why guys their age don't want to date and marry them.
Being a single person, it's really hard to take care of myself after being with someone for so long and giving it your all. I know that I want to find someone's to share life with.
Okay, that's fake. This is absolutely fake, and the chick next to her, I think, knows it. This is fake. She's trying to bring up the tears. We talked about that in another video when I was telling you guys that women will try to think about something that does make them cry. It's like method acting. She's there trying to sound like she's crying. It's totally fake. It's a performance.
But I'm at a point where I'm valuing myself, and I didn't put myself in a situation. I didn't choose to be where I am, and it's just trying to get back on my feet to find the people that I can vibe with. I resonate with what she's saying. The part that hit me most was doing it all on your own. Even though I don't have kids, I'm just here taking care of myself. It's hard as fuck. It's lonely. There's nothing more that I want to share life again with someone that will be there for me and appreciate me and value me.
No, it's fine. Thank you for being honest. A lot of women would not admit that. They would not. They would say, I'm strong and independent, and they'll fight it to the grave. Thank you for being honest and vulnerable.
No, she wasn't being honest. She was acting like a victim. She was acting like the position she was in had nothing to do with her decisions that she made. She's just and she could have made different decisions, and look at how she's dressing. Look at how she's presenting herself. Give me a break. Don't act like you want to be treated like a wife when you're not a wife. Right, that's the train. If you can hear the train, I don't know. Thomas. But yeah, she's just being a victim. She's just performing for the show to, it's that whole thing they also do too. What do they say? They didn't prioritize themselves, right? My eyeballs almost roll out of my head for that chick because she was totally fake. And then I was watching the women all around her, everybody's performing. It's like a reality show. You know, it's like watching The Bachelor or whatever other ridiculous thing. You're like, come on.
The truth of the matter is that a 35-year-old man with a job, money, and a car can entice younger, more attractive women in their 20s. Most men need a year or two to get to know a woman before becoming engaged and then getting married. As a result,
Men know a lot sooner than that, though. They can tell. I don't know why. We usually wait because a woman's got to plan the wedding. She needs a year to brag to her friends and you know, plan this ridiculous expensive party where she wears a white dress that she didn't earn. And it's, you know, the her show. Men know real soon if they're looking at wife material. I get it that you have to vet the chick, but honestly, we need to be vetting them before you go out. We need to figure out a way that we can do that, because, you know, otherwise you're just setting money on fire, and it's a waste, and you're just allowing yourself to be used by a parasitic predator.
if a guy marries a 35-year-old woman after going through this process, she won't give birth until she's 38, which will significantly reduce her odds of having children. A woman in her early to mid-30s must begin considering men in their late 30s, 40s, and perhaps even 50s as potential suitors. Many women experience the second wall in their early to mid-40s, and by that time, many have lost the capacity to entice even 20-year-old gentlemen who are only interested in physical intimacy. They typically begin gaining weight and enter menopause at that time. Asian and Black women age more slowly than white women, yet once they start to lose their beauty, many of them age rapidly. In the space of a few years, a 38 or 39-year-old Asian lady may transform from looking like she's 29 or 32 to looking as if she's in her early 40s. I may not be seeing the wall that appeared 10 years before she turned 40 since I am a white dude. If I'm incorrect, do let me know. This is simply my observation, and I'd be interested in learning more about this specific issue. Women often mature earlier than men do when they are teenagers, because they have historically had the reproductive advantage when it comes to passing on their genes. This is because, especially at times in our history when resources were scarce, the earlier women mature, the higher the prospects are for the survival of our species. They will, however, wither earlier as well, because they flower earlier. Men with money and
That's a good way to put it. They wither earlier because they flower earlier. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's really weird to think of, but we're fertile in our teens. You know, we're very fertile in our teens. And so we need to be having babies in our 20s. There's no question about it. And we haven't. And there's literally not going to be a South Korea anymore. You know, the way they project their population, because of the lack of women procreating, it's going to be down to zero in the next generation. I think it is. It's insane. And Japan's not looking that much different. You know, and it's like we're trying to keep up. And why? Because women are prioritizing career. Women are saying that being a mother is, you know, oppression. The wall is just another extension of that. It's just denial of our own biology. And it's also denial of how God made us and for the role that God made us. Our biology is right here in front of our eyes. Like, it's right here. And we deny it. We deny that we should be having babies at a certain time. We deny that we should be, you know, taking care of them. We deny that we should then help our daughters when they have babies, and so on and so on, and shift into that grandmotherly role. Women aren't doing that. They're trying to freeze at like 22, but then just not have babies. And so the wall is just another denial of reality. Women are denying reality with all of this, and it's not serving them. It's not serving the men, and it's taking the whole society down with it. You can't prioritize career and, you know, pleasurable experiences and being a girl boss and expect to have strong families. you're just not going to. A big problem with us women is that, and it started to be told to my generation, was you can have it all. What an insane thing to tell people. What an insane thing to tell little girls. I know they didn't tell little boys that, but they told us. And the crazy thing is we believed it. I didn't, because I was put in daycare and I was aware, and I was like, if I have a career, I shouldn't be having children at the same time. And then MS happened and I was like, oh, I'm not worthy to do any of it. I won't be able to do any of it. But anyway, that's beside the point. But this is how women think. This is how they get there in their heads. It's a complete denial of reality. And men are trying to, trying to date these people, trying to be married to these people. How do you have a relationship with somebody who doesn't accept reality? They're arguing with you and their facts are not facts. It's just, not to be Ben Shapiro, but it's just feelings, delusions. No wonder why men are like, peace out. I don't want that. I don't need that. That is way more headache. You guys keep saying the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and it's not. It's not. Look what's out there. I mean, this is...
Resources are more likely to attract women, and smart men who put out the effort and save money will only become more alluring to women over time. Men, on the other hand, are drawn to women because of their capacity for reproduction. The aging process can be compared to a game of poker full of deception and different types of misdirection where both sides are involved. For example, if a man and a woman were playing poker in their early 20s, the man starts with 1 chip and the woman has 90. But by the time they are 35, he has 85 of those chips and she has only 6. Your financial resources have a significant impact on your status and alternatives in real life, just like in poker. More women than men that I am aware of wasted their money rather than saved it when they were young. They would go on trips, purchase shoes, have supper out a couple of times a week, and hang out a lot with their pals. When they are in their mid-30s, they would also spend a lot of money on makeup and cab fare. I've come across women who are deeply indebted from credit card debt and student loans and are searching for a wealthy man to bail them out. Numerous women I know have openly admitted to me that they are looking for a sugar daddy to assist them in paying off their debts. For women, the aging wall can be a huge psychological blow. Men age considerably more slowly than women do, and once they are in their mid to late 30s, they are more willing to date a variety of 20-something women. My single friends hold the majority of the cards and poker chips in the new dating game, but since I recently made many of them aware of men going their own way, they are giving up the game and focusing on finding their own happiness.
Yes, good. I look at that as good. You're protecting them. Good, man reacts. I love that you're doing this in real life, because it's one thing to be a content creator. And I have no idea if you watch these reactions that I do. I highly doubt it, but just in case, I'm so happy he does this in real life, talks to people in real life. I do the same thing every opportunity I get. I'm trying to talk to younger women and say, you're making some choices that you will regret later and you won't be able to change it. And I try to, just today, little short story. I was in physical therapy earlier this morning, and there was an older gentleman, probably 60s. It's hard to tell, maybe 70. I don't know. But he's always over there sort of on Fridays. He's sort of like in the same corner that I usually go to. I usually go to this mat, and he's on the parallel bars. And I walked over there, and I was like, hey, I'm invading your corner again. And because I get the feeling, and it might be just me projecting, but I get the feeling sometimes that when the men are there, they feel very defeated. Physically, they're defeated. I know it's difficult because a man, it's probably like your own version of a wall. When you were young and strong, and then you get older and you're not the young, strong one anymore. And now you're not physically capable as much. And then you find yourself in physical therapy. I don't know what it's for, but he's working on being able to lift his leg up and being able to balance and stuff. And in me, I just was like, I didn't want him to feel less than a man. Wait, I didn't want him to feel like he was less than. So I was just, I said something he was about to do, like where he walks on these, like they call them lily pads, from this spot to this spot to this spot. And I was like, wow, those strides are like twice as long as my strides. My strides are like this. So I just kind of did that. And I noticed a change in him. I noticed him, there was a shift in his confidence. And just little things like that. Or like when they were like, oh, we're going to send a home health nurse, blah, 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 to do a thing. And do you request a man or a woman? I said, I request a man. Little things in your regular life to actually, because you believe in this, because you want change. I understand I'm not going to turn this whole thing around. I don't think this whole thing can be turned around. I think we're headed towards entropy, on a Japanese bullet train. But it doesn't mean that individuals can't be helped along the way. And so I'm so happy that Man Reacts also is trying to spread this information to other people. And in my mind, when he's telling men about, the MGTOW, that he is saving them, because so many of them get absolutely destroyed by these women. And if you can protect them from that, that's huge. That's huge. I mean, if you see a bunch of people like barreling off a cliff, you want to let them know. They don't know they're being played. They really don't. They have no idea how she can turn on a dime and you look across to her in family court and you don't recognize her.
So, the issue is not whether it is fair or unfair for women to mature early and reach their SMV saturation point in their 30s. Rather, in my opinion, the issue is how rarely women are open to the reality that is in front of them.
Right.
Women are now realizing that life is not what feminism made it out to be, what family was made out to be. They changed all the rules and have effectively killed any chance of actual happiness. Life takes away opportunities when you make choices. You cannot have it all. Now women are reaping the consequences of what they've done. Contrary to what they frequently claim, it is safe to state that women are just not prepared to face the wall. What exactly is the wall? It isn't a physical or actual wall. It's actually a moment when a lady has passed her prime age, and SMV. Thanks for watching Man Reacts. Show us your love and support by liking this video, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Support us and help us spread support for men around the world.
And we will. This video will be, the link to this video will be in the description. He just does such a great job. And now I'm even, the fact that he's telling people in real life, not just making content and, telling the truth to everybody on YouTube. I'm not sure if he's on Rumble, but it's so important. It's so important to do it. I just feel like, I know there's a lot of grifters. And so when somebody really actually does believe this and does the uncomfortable work in real life, it just gives me, it inspires me, and I just feel very grateful, because we need more people like that. We cannot stay just in our echo chambers. We cannot stay just in our, men's rights group meetings. We have to talk to people in real life. And we can't just go out and to start where we are. We have to, realize that this is brand new to them. The red pill stuff, they might know who Andrew Tate is. And that's not, that's not you guys. That's not the average guy. The most guys want to be with one woman. Most guys really do want that. Most guys are not hound dogs. That is a small group of men, and an even smaller group of men that can, So Andrew Tate, red pill, that's not what it is. It's just an awareness of the truth about what is going on in gender dynamics, in relationship dynamics, and how men are being absolutely taken for granted in relationships, in the workforce, everywhere. So the more we can let people know, and it helps men too, because so many times they think they're the only one. They think they're the only one this is happening to, because there are no male spaces for you guys to, compare notes. The internet is sort of the only kind of male space where you can actually find somebody, but you have to know to go there in the first place. So anyway, yeah, women deny reality. They deny the wall. It's hilarious when they do, because at that point, it's really hard to feel sorry for them, because you know the destruction in their wake, So you're like, I know you're alone and you're sad, but also, how many people did you wreck to get here? Probably a lot. So it's really hard to have sympathy. It is. So thank you guys for joining me on this one. This was a good one. As always, Man Reacts does not disappoint. I appreciate his work. It helps me to have something to translate the women speak and what it is they're doing and how they got like that. Oh, but it gives me the ick. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a lovely Friday, and I hope that you have fed your soul today. I hope you're protecting your peace today. And just remember that I love you guys and you are appreciated. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.